If I go tomorrow, who's going to know who these people are? It's a quiet question, but it stays with you. You open a drawer looking for something simple, an envelope, a pair of glasses, and there they are. A pile of old photographs. Some are in albums that haven't been opened in years. Others are loose, curling at the edges, tucked into yellowed envelopes from a pharmacy that closed decades ago. You begin flipping through them. Your mother, smiling in the kitchen. Your children, in tiny costumes on a long-forgotten Halloween. A family reunion with plastic chairs and lemonade in paper cups. You remember those. But then the images start to blur, faces you recognize but can't quite name. A backyard, a birthday cake, but whose was it? You tilt the photo, squint at the fading ink on the back. It just says, Summer '84. That's all. And suddenly, a strange thought surfaces. When you're gone, what will these mean to anyone else? Will your children or grandchildren know the stories? Will they understand who these people were, or why they mattered to you? You're not afraid of the pictures being thrown away. What scares you more is the idea of being forgotten in pieces. A box full of frozen moments that no one can explain. A life remembered in fragments, or not at all. And so we keep them. Not because we plan to sort through them. Not because they are organized. But because letting go feels like deleting something sacred. A part of our voice. A part of our proof that we were here. If you've ever felt this pull between wanting to let go and needing to be remembered, this space is for you. Subscribe to Wise Aging Seniors. We talk about what matters, quietly, honestly, and with heart. Not just how to grow older, but how to leave behind something that still speaks when you're no longer here to explain it. Corinne Alston was 79 when it happened. She wasn't being sentimental. She was just cold. The heater had gone out again, third time that winter, and she was searching for her heavy coat, the one she hadn't worn since last January. She headed to the back guest room where she kept off-season clothes. The closet was stiff and rarely opened. Inside, it still held that faint, familiar scent of cedar blocks and something older, like time itself. As she reached for the coat, her elbow knocked into a high shelf, and down came a cardboard box. Then another. And then a third. She knelt slowly, careful with her knees, and looked at the boxes. No labels. Just dust. They weren't anything urgent, she thought. But when she lifted the lid on the first one, her breath caught. Photographs. Dozens. Hundreds. Loose, stacked, curled, faded. A few stuck together at the corners. Some wrapped in old tissue. A few still in those stiff black photo corners, hanging on to ancient paper. She picked one up. Her baby photo, smudged, softened by time. Then another, her late husband holding a sparkler, his laughter frozen mid-frame. Then something entirely different, one that made her go still. A photo from a rainy family picnic. She remembered that day clearly. The sky had turned gray just after they finished setting out the food. Everyone scrambled to pack up, but Corinne and her younger sister didn't. They kicked off their shoes and danced barefoot in the grass, drenched, free, soaked in laughter. Someone, maybe her husband, had snapped a picture. She stared at it now, smiling faintly. This wasn't a special occasion. It wasn't labeled. But it felt like the most honest photo of her life. And then she found another photo, one she didn't recognize. A woman she couldn't name, holding a small dog, smiling gently. Corinne turned it over. No writing. No date. Nothing. She looked closer and said aloud, "I should know who you are." She sat down on the floor right there, cross-legged like a girl, not sorting, not crying. Just quiet. Just thinking. After a few minutes, she whispered something that she hadn't said to anyone. "If I go tomorrow, I don't want them to find boxes. I want them to find me." That was the shift. She wasn't scared of dying. She was scared of being remembered as a pile of photographs no one understood. She didn't reach for organizing bins. She didn't download an app or make a digital archive. Instead, she chose a different path. A quiet one. A human one. One made not of checklists, but of meaning. And what she did over the following days, 5 gentle, personal steps, turned into something far greater than a project. It became a way to touch her life again with her own hands and decide what truly deserved to be remembered. And if you've ever held a photo in your hands and felt overwhelmed by what to do next, what Corinne chose to do might be the answer you didn't know you needed. Step 1. Sit with 5. This first step isn't about organizing, labeling, or downsizing. It's about returning to your memories slowly, with care. No checklist. No timeline. Just a quiet invitation to begin. Start by selecting 5 photos. Only 5. Not 50. Not every envelope or showbox. Just 5 that seem to call to you today. Don't think too hard. Let your hands move through the photos and stop when something catches. It might be the corner of an image that started to curl. A familiar sweater. A background color that makes your breath pause. Whatever it is, trust it. Lay them out on a table that has meaning. Not the kitchen counter covered in papers. Use the coffee table where you once played cards. The dining table that's felt the weight of elbows and laughter. A table that knows you. Now sit. No pen in hand. No task to finish. Just sit. Look at the first photo, not to identify the faces, but to notice the feeling. Look at the eyes. The sky. The wrinkles in the clothing. How the light falls. Don't rush to remember the occasion. Let the emotion arrive on its own. Then move to the next one. Let each photo open slowly, like a window to a room you haven't stepped into in years. Some will offer comfort. Others might bring confusion or sadness. But each one, whether joyful or bittersweet, belongs to your life and deserves your presence. Now, only after this quiet time, pick up a notepad or scrap of paper. And next to each photo, write something. Not a full backstory, just a note from the heart. A name. A season. A smell. A phrase that no one else might understand but you do. This was after the funeral, and we were trying to smile. He always wore that jacket, even in summer. She hummed when she washed dishes. These details may seem small, but they are what anchor your photos in memory. Without them, the image might survive, but the meaning disappears. If you find yourself tearing up or smiling without realizing it, that's part of it. This process isn't meant to be tidy. It's meant to be human. You might feel a need to reach for more photos. Don't. Not yet. Let these 5 settle. Let your heart adjust. There's no gold medal for finishing. You're not here to conquer your past. You're here to sit with it, understand it, and choose what still deserves your voice. Do this once a week or once a month. No pressure. Just 5 photos. 5 memories. 1 honest beginning. And that is how you start, not by sorting a life, but by feeling it. 5 photos. 1 table. Your voice. That's enough for today. Step 2. The living story rule. Not every photo deserves to be kept. That sounds harsh at first, but it's one of the kindest truths you can embrace as you grow older. Why? Because a photo is only as valuable as the story it carries. Without the story, it's just ink and paper. But with the story, it becomes a bridge, one that connects your life to someone else's heart. The living story rule is simple, but powerful. If you can still tell the story behind a photo, it's a keeper. If the story is gone, and there's no emotion, no meaning, no memory tied to it, it's okay to let it go. You are not discarding your past. You are preserving the parts that still live. Take a stack of photos, 10 or 20, no more, and hold them, one by one. As you look at each image, ask yourself, do I still remember what happened here? Can I explain who this is, or why we were smiling, or what it meant to me? If the answer is yes, even if the story is short, even if it's silly, set that photo aside in a special folder or envelope labeled, "Stories I Still Need to Tell." These are the treasures. These are the ones you'll want to pass on. Not just because of who's in them, but because of what they hold. The laughter, the pain, the moment you were changed and didn't even realize it until now. But if you're holding a photo and there's no name, no place, no connection, and no feeling, not even a whisper of recognition, pause. You are not required to keep it. You are not being disloyal by letting it go. Sometimes we keep photos out of guilt, or fear, or the idea that someone might want this one day. But the truth is, if you don't know who they are or what it means, chances are no one else will either. And here's something most people never say: letting go of a photo doesn't erase your history. It actually gives more space for your real stories to breathe. The ones you can tell. The ones that deserve to be heard. If you're unsure, create a maybe folder. Let those live there for now. You're not making final decisions, you're just beginning to sort your story from your storage. Let your voice, not the volume of photos, shape your legacy. What matters most isn't how many pictures survive, it's how many truths go with them. Choose the ones you can speak about. Choose the ones that speak for you. That's the heart of the living story rule. Step 3. Create the "if I go tomorrow" envelope. This step isn't about preparing for death, it's about preparing to be understood. About making sure that if you're not here to explain the details, the people you love will still know what mattered most. It's called the "if I go tomorrow" envelope, not because you're expecting the end, but because you've lived enough life to know that tomorrow isn't promised. And that's not something to fear. It's something to prepare for with clarity, intention, and love. Choose 5 to 10 photos. That's all. Just a small, powerful collection that speaks not about what you did, but about who you truly were. These photos shouldn't reflect your job title, your awards, or the perfect holidays. They should reflect your spirit, your laughter, your faith, your stubbornness, your joy. The tiny, intimate truths that made you do. Maybe it's the photo where you're holding a fishing rod with your first grandchild. Maybe it's the one where you're covered in flour, mid-laugh, trying to bake from scratch. Or maybe it's a blurry shot from the backyard, when no one was posing, but everyone was happy. These are not photos for a formal album. These are the ones that whisper, "This is who I was," when no one was looking. Place those 5 to 10 photos into a large envelope. Write clearly on the front, "If I go tomorrow, start here." And inside, include a short note. Just a few lines. Something like, "These are the moments that explain me best. Not because they were perfect, but because they were real. If I'm not here, begin with these. They'll tell you more than I ever could." That letter doesn't need to be profound. It just needs to be true. Write it as if you're speaking to someone you love who doesn't quite know where to start after you're gone. This envelope isn't about what you leave behind, it's about making sure what you leave behind has meaning. It gives your family a place to begin, a gentle guide through the fog that grief or confusion might bring. Instead of overwhelming them with boxes and albums, you're offering something clear. A beginning, not a burden. And perhaps the most comforting part? You can do this now, while you're alive, clear-minded, and full of intention. You get to choose what speaks for you. You get to shape the story that's told when you're not here to tell it yourself. That's not morbid. That's generous. That's love made visible. That's the quiet power of the "if I go tomorrow" envelope. Step 4. Let one go with kindness. This step might be the hardest, but also the most freeing. It's not about clearing space. It's about releasing the weight of what no longer serves your story. Go back to your photo box or folder and look through it slowly. This time, don't search for what to keep. Search for one photo that no longer carries meaning. Maybe it's a blurry image of a stranger at an event you can't recall. Or a duplicate print you've kept out of habit. Or maybe it's a photo that once held deep emotion, joy or pain, but now, it no longer stirs anything in you. It's just there, lingering out of routine. When you find it, pause. Hold it gently, like you would a leaf you're ready to release in autumn. And instead of tossing it into a trash can without thought, take a moment to acknowledge it. Say, in your own words, "Thank you. Thank you for being part of a season. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for traveling this far." Then, let it go. You can tear it softly and place it in the bin. You can bury it under the garden, like a quiet farewell. You can even place it in a fire-safe dish and let the image disappear into ash as a form of release. However you choose, make it intentional. Because this isn't about loss. It's about honoring the present. Holding on to everything doesn't keep the past alive. Sometimes, it crowds out the things we actually want to remember. When you choose one photo to let go, with grace, not guilt, you make space in your heart and in your story. And you remind yourself that your legacy is not tied to volume. It's tied to meaning. Letting go of one photo isn't deleting your past. It's choosing to carry forward what's still alive in you today. And here's the beautiful part. By releasing one photo that no longer fits, you're teaching yourself a kind of emotional wisdom. A reminder that life, like memory, is always moving. Some pieces we take with us. Some we gently set down. You don't have to do this every day. You don't have to get rid of hundreds. Just choose one. Today. Practice that quiet courage. It's not a loss. It's a choice to walk lighter, speak clearer, and treasure the images that still pulse with life. One photo. One quiet thank you. One act of release. That's enough. Step 5. Pass one forward. Out of all the photos you've kept, some for decades, there's at least one that doesn't belong to you anymore. It may have your handwriting on the back, your smile in the corner, your memory tied to it. But deep down, you know it's meant for someone else now. This step isn't about nostalgia. It's about connection, real, living connection that can happen right now, while you're still here to explain the moment, share the meaning, and watch someone else feel seen. Choose one photo. Just one. Not your favorite, not the most perfect, but the one that keeps making you pause. The one that reminds you of a story you've never fully told. Maybe it's a photo of your daughter at age 4, holding a teddy bear she no longer remembers. Or your sister, younger than your grandchildren are now, dancing barefoot at a family barbecue. Maybe it's a quiet moment, a candid shot from the porch swing, or a blurry Christmas dinner, something simple, but rich with meaning. Once you've chosen it, write a short note to go with it. Nothing formal. No need for a long letter. Just a few honest lines like, "I've kept this photo for years, but I think it belongs with you now. This was the day you learned to ride your bike, and I remember how proud you were. I never told you that, but I still carry it with me." Or, "This was your mom before she ever became a parent. She had a laugh that filled the whole room. I want you to know where you got yours from." Then send it. Mail it, hand it over in person, or tuck it into a birthday card or a quiet envelope labeled "Open Soon." However you choose, do it deliberately. And don't wait for a holiday, or a milestone, or the right words. The right time is now, while your voice is still available to give that memory its full meaning. What you're doing here isn't just sweet. It's sacred. You're giving someone the gift of knowing more of their story, through your eyes. Through your memory. Through your care. This photo might sit on their shelf, or in their wallet, or tucked inside a drawer for years. But every time they see it, they'll feel you. And perhaps more importantly, you'll feel the peace of knowing that you didn't wait until it was too late. You didn't keep everything locked inside. You passed on a piece of your life, your way. Legacy isn't always about big gestures or public tributes. Sometimes it's a photo, a handwritten note, a memory handed over like a torch. So today, choose one photo. Pass it forward. Let it speak, while you still can. It might just be the most personal gift you ever give. A week after Corinne completed the last step of her quiet 5-photo journey, she returned to one picture that had stayed with her from the very beginning. It was from that rainy family picnic, the one where everyone else had taken cover under the shelter, but she and her younger sister had done something completely unplanned. They kicked off their shoes, held hands, and danced barefoot in the grass while the drizzle turned into steady rain. It hadn't been about showing off. It hadn't been about rebellion. It was simply joy. Raw, playful, unrehearsed joy. Someone, she still didn't know who, had snapped a photo of that exact moment. The two sisters laughing, drenched and wild with life, while everyone else stood dry and watching. She hadn't seen that photo in decades, and yet, holding it now, she remembered exactly how it felt to be in it. Corinne looked at the image and realized something powerful. Her granddaughter had never seen this version of her. She'd known the warm, gentle grandmother who knitted scarves, baked banana bread, and called every Sunday without fail. But she'd never seen the barefoot, rain-drenched, fearless young woman who wasn't afraid to be alive in front of the world. And Corinne wanted her to know that version too. So she took that photo and carefully placed it inside a soft white envelope. With it, she included a handwritten note that simply read, "This was one of the happiest moments of my life. I don't think anyone else remembers it but me. I want you to have it, because this is part of who I am. I danced in the rain once, and I hope you will too." She mailed it without fanfare. No birthday. No holiday. No big explanation. 3 days later, her phone rang. Her granddaughter's voice was quiet at first, but full of emotion. "Grandma." I showed the photo to Mom. She said she'd forgotten that day until she saw it. "She told me how you made everyone laugh so hard their stomachs hurt. And you, Grandma, I've never seen you like that. It's like I met you for the first time. I feel like I know you now. Not just through stories. I know your spirit." Corinne didn't say much. She didn't need to. That one moment, that one photo, had done something no album ever could. It didn't just preserve her memory. It gave it away, freely, lovingly, while she was still here to witness the gift being received. That's what legacy is, not what you leave in storage, but what you release into someone's hands with meaning. Corinne didn't aim to be remembered for everything. She simply chose one moment that mattered and passed it forward. And that was enough. Not every photo tells a story. Not every image carries weight. When you've lived long enough, you begin to understand that quantity isn't what makes something meaningful, it's intention. You can have 1,000 photos in boxes, albums, or digital folders, but if no one knows what they mean, they may never be more than paper and pixels. But 10 photos chosen with care, with memory, with love, they can whisper your name into the future. They can carry your voice long after you've stopped speaking. This isn't about getting rid of everything. It's about keeping the parts of your life that still speak, the parts that still glow with meaning. A single smile. A quiet laugh. A moment where you felt most yourself. That's what people remember. That's what makes you unforgettable. You don't have to wait until someone else is left to figure out what mattered to you. You can decide that now, today, in your own way. If this video helped you, if it gave you clarity or comfort, please share it with someone who's holding the same quiet weight. A friend. A sibling. A neighbor. Someone who's been wondering what to do with a lifetime of photos and no clear plan. And if you're ready to begin your own If I Go Tomorrow envelope, tell us in the comments. What's the very first photo you'd include, and why? It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be honest. Your story matters. Your voice matters. And the small steps you take today can become a gift someone else will never forget. Like, comment, and subscribe to Wise Aging Scenes for more videos like this, because growing older doesn't mean letting go of everything. It means choosing what stays.